Hare Krishna. So, Bhagavad Gita, as it is, chapter 17, verse number 17, right? So, the divisions of faith. So, this is Jnana Yoga. Again, the Jnana is very important so that we can follow Bhakti with determination. Because Jnana actually gives us the understanding about how futile is to spend our time for sense gratification in this material world with the so temporary body. I mean, the body is so temporary that the 100 years of human life, when we see from the point of view of Lord Brahma's life, it is like nothing. It's like a flash uh, in the sky, like thunderbolt. So always dwelling on the Jnana Yoga, yeah, like what is the body, how temporary it is, and again how much miserable it is. So this kind of Jnana actually gives us uh, determination, inspiration to follow bhakti and take a full advantage. So now we are understanding about not only our fate in this material world, but all the living entities, all human beings, all how they are getting trapped by different modes, and how by understanding this knowledge we can switch our desires to goodness, basically, and that will lead to our Shuddha Sattva, lead to our desires to Shuddha Sattva. So we'll start. Text number 17. Shraddhaya paraya taptam tapastat trividham nare afalakanksibhir yuktai satvikam parichakshate. So these threefold austerities performed with transcendental faith by men not expecting material benefits but engaged only for the sake of the Supreme is called austerity in goodness. So whatever austerity we do, it should be done in the goodness. The main thing here is always we see any religious activity we do, we should have first a very important ingredient in it is we should not expect any material benefit from that. That is an ideal task, nishkam, But mostly we see there is subtle sakam desires are there that okay, let me have some fortune in my life by doing this activity. But all the scriptures actually tells that ideal austerity, ideal religious activities are those who they are like Gupta. Gupta, this one should not even speak about our activity. That I did so many things for Lord, or I did so many things for Vaishnava. So it is also that subtle expectation about the material benefits, or like gross or subtle, fame and name, so on and so forth. So then we should always see that all these austerity which we have seen, mana, body, mind, and words, this should be performed in the this also be, and then we have seen danam, yajna, uh, everything should be done without any expectation. What about passion? Generally, everyone falls into this category. Satyara mana purjartham tapodambhena chaivaya kriyate tadiha proktam rajasam chalam adhruvam. Penance performed out of pride and for the sake of gaining respect, honor, and worship is said to be in the mode of passion. It is neither stable nor permanent. So the expectation is generally mostly respect and honor. Certainly, people want to show that no, maybe it's a tradition that whenever you visit some sort of Mangal Karyalaya, I used to see in the childhood that even the fan was painted by this fan is donated by this particular person. What to speak of rooms and all. Anyway, but that's what out of pride or maybe gaining some respect over this is charitable person or something like that. So what is the problem here? The result is not stable, not permanent. So Prabhupada writes very perfect, very nice purport that he writes that generally people do penance. Now he is very austere person, suppose. So what he generally wants to extract from that person, the subordinates, let me wash, uh, sort of, Prabhupada write that persons in the mode of passion arranged to be worshipped by subordinates and let them wash their feet and offer riches. So okay, then you are enamored by my penances, then you offer your riches and you wash my feet, something like that. But this is artificial arrangement and the result is temporary because after some time that it may go on because we have given up Krishna also. So it's not very surprising that people may give up their faith in some person. So that's why always the devotee and Acharya Guru, they guide everyone to support, to surrender to Krishna. That's faith. Faith in Krishna. That someone asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what is your desire? What will please you most? So Prabhupada said, you love Krishna. You surrender unto Krishna. That will please me most because that is what every living entity's constitutional position is. Right? You should have firm 100% faith in Krishna. So the austerity is actually cleans our heart, purify our heart. So we should utilize it not to contaminate us away, more. If you want to take bath, and then you have to use a clean water, and then you can with the clean water you can wash your body, and then you become cleans of all the dirt. But just imagine that the water is dirty. So what will happen? Your bathing will make you more dirty, right? Right. So the penances which we have done in the mode of passion will not actually clean our heart. It will make it more dirty. So that's the main thing. What to speak of the ignorance. Adesha kale yaddanam atra apatrebhyascha diyate asat avagyatam tat tamasam udharatam. And the charity performed, are we seeing charity or what? Okay. 19. Mudha grahena atmano yat pidaya kriyate tapa. Parat Paratsud sadhanartham va tat tamasam udharatam. Sorry, the person penance performed out of foolishness with self-torture or to destroy or injure others, said to be the mode of ignorance. So, example is given in Hiranyakashipu's example. He was torturing himself and not providing the need of the body. We're not talking about the want of the body, but need. And that so such kind of penance is actually uh, the mode in the mode of ignorance, which will not be beneficial for the spiritual liberation. Because even we have seen Vrokasur. Vrokasur was doing penance and then he started cutting his limbs and flesh, offering it to Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva was not pleased actually by that. So this is not recommended. And again, Dhanam is given. Datavyam iti yad dhanam diyate anupakarene deshe kalesha patrecha tad dhanam satvikam. So the scripture will repeatedly tell us about this. So take out your desire to enjoy the result from your activity. Offer it to Krishna. Even charity should be done out of duty. So householder should actually do it as a, see, nobody tells his son or daughter that, oh, I am giving you food, right? So be obliged to me, be grateful to me. No, it's a duty. It's his duty to take care of the children. Similarly, householder has to take care of those who are in needful. So in the previous yoga, people used to clap for 3 times or call on the road that anybody is hungry, please come home. And by that they would actually gain benefit. But right now, there is no faith, and so many factors are there. So it would be done actually out of what? Out of duty, kartavyam, no expectation of return, and at the proper time and place, and to a worthy person. This is the charity in mode of goodness. So we should offer our charity to the proper cause. Proper cause means should be utilized for bringing that soul closer to Krishna. So that is goodness, charity in goodness. यत्तु प्रति उपकारार्थम फलम उद्देश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टम तद्दानम राजसंस्मृतम. So charity performed with the expectation of some return or with the desire to fruitive results or in grudging mood is said to be in the charity of passion. Same, the sacrifices which we have seen, same charities also the same thing. In mode of passion, we expect something or we want to enjoy more in the future, or we are not happy giving in charity. We do it, oh, now I have to give because otherwise my name will be gone into the bad blacklist. Like he's not a good person, something like that. So there's a repetitive concept is coming that everything we do, so we have to purify that by some scar. So dana is something with which we actually purify our wealth. So wealth is also contaminated, whatever way you earn it. But by giving charity, you purify the wealth. So it is needed. Just like cloth, you have to wash it. Then it becomes clean. Similarly, the mind, it has to be cleansed by chanting mantras. Similarly, the wealth is purified by giving charity as a kartavya, duty, without expectation in return. At proper time and at proper place. Adesha kale yaddanam apatrebhyasya diyate asatkrutam avagyatam tat tamasam udayavatam. So if you see that the people have no concern about the place, if it is improper or proper, if it is improper time, or a person, unworthy person, or without proper attention and respect, that is ignorance, charity in ignorance. So we should be very grateful to a person who is taking charity from us. And you have given me opportunity to purify my wealth. So I am thankful to you. Please take this charity. That should be the behavior of the mentality of the person who is giving charity. And improper person means, so Prabhupada writes that even if you basically give charity to the poor people, so it should help him. So charity should be given to some worthy person, means now if a poor person is there, so you should give him food, prasad, so that or a cloth or something like that. But once our Janva Mataji was once telling that when she was going from Pune to Mumbai and some beggar came and he said, "Give me something." So she had a sandesh made out of, is offered to Krishna as a pure one. So, I will not give you money, but I have a sandesh, peda was offered. He says, "I don't want peda, I want money." So what will he do with the money? We don't know. But otherwise, it is like if that charity is not utilized for the spiritual growth, spiritual advancement, then that charity is not worth giving charity. It is just like a misdirected compassion. It will go into that misdirected compassion, not for that person's spiritual growth. That's why Prabhupada started Food for Life. That yes, we have to give charity. So give charity which will purify him from the heart, his desire, change his desire. Let him chant Hare Krishna, take prasad, like that. Like that. So Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho brahmanas trividha spritah brahmane stena vedasya yajnasya vihitapura. From the beginning of creation, the three words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the Supreme Absolute Truth. These three symbolic representations were used by Brahmanas while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. So, Om Tat Sat, actually it has been used by Lord Brahmaji when he first time performed sacrifices to please Lord Vishnu. From that time it is coming into the sort of in the parampara. So, anything we do, Prabhupada, penance, sacrifice, charity, food, it comes into the first class, second class, third class. Goodness, passion, ignorance. Three categories. But when they are aimed at, everything, penance, sacrifice, charity is aimed at Supreme Personality God for the satisfaction of Krishna. If you want to do that, then we should chant Om Tat Sat. Then it becomes spiritual life. In the sense, we will get pushed towards spiritual advancement. We will be advancing towards spiritual realization. So this is the indication. Om Tat Sat means absolute truth. Like that, our main intention should not be, oh, this is a time, very nice time, we should give, so we shall get 100 times, 1,000 times more of spiritual, materially will be benefited. No, it should be for the pleasure of Krishna. Like that. Tasmad Om iti udavrutam yajna dana tapakriya pravartante vidhanokta satatam brahmavadinam. Therefore, transcendentalists undertaking performances of sacrifices, charity, and penance in accordance with the spiritual regulations begin always with Om to attain Supreme. We know that. Vedic start with first Om. Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam. Like that. Tadityan Abhisandhaya Phalam Yajna Tapakriya Dana Kriyasya Vivida Kriyante Moksha Kanchu. Without desiring fruitful results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifices, penance, and charity. With the word Tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from the material entanglement. So, in Bhagavatam it is said, Kamasya nendriya priti labho jivete yavata jivasya tattva jigyasa nartho arthaya upakalpate. That our desires, our activities should not be for the result should not be to attain material gain, material benefit. And whatever material benefit we have, it should not be utilized for sense gratification. Because our main purpose of human life is athato brahma jigyasa, tattva jigyasa. So tattva means absolute truth. So anything which we do, it should not be for any spiritual activity. Religion should not be performed for material gain. But generally it happens. And material gain is utilized for sense gratification. But our main thing should be how to get liberation, how to get out of the material entanglement. Sadbhave, sadubhave cha sadityet prayujyate. Prashaste karmani tadha satshabda partha yujyate. Yajne tapasi dhane cha sthiti saditi chochate. Karma chaiva tadarthiyam sadityet avam sadityeva bhidhiyate. It is the 17th chapter, last 26-27 verse. The absolute truth is objective of devotional sacrifice. And it is indicated by the word Sat. The performer of such sacrifice is also called Sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Personality of God. So Vishnu means Yagya, Yagya. Everything should be done for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. So Prashasti Karmane, prescribed duties. We already said that we should perform our activities means within the framework of Varna and Ashrama. So within that, we should follow our prescribed duties, which will have only one objective, that is devotion. How we are offering it to, how can we please Krishna by our act. So again, understand In devotion, Krishna doesn't see the extravaganza, external, but see the bhav, what is within. We have seen in Krishna book that Krishna was pleased by Bahulashva and the king and what is his name? Shrutakid, What is the name of the one who is a Brahmana who is not very rich, but he was just dancing when Krishna has come, and so Bahulash was the king who welcomed Krishna and his guests with lavish, presentations and welcome, and Krishna was pleased. But so when Brahmana was there, at his home he went. There was nothing like that, but he offered with so much love water and some fruits to all the guests, and he started dancing for their pleasure. So Krishna was equally pleased with them. So Krishna is bhavagrahi jana. So the point here is we have to, in every activity, the externals are not very important. They are when there is needed. When you want to offer, Krishna offer is the best. Even if whatever you have, if the love is not there to please him, the intention is not to entirely please the Lord, then external doesn't play any big role. Like Duryodhana wanted to give lavish feast to Krishna in a big palace, but no love for Krishna. But Vidurani and Vidura, they were so overwhelmed with Krishna. Shrutadeva was that Brahmana. So Krishna saw the love that, oh, that just my presence, they were overwhelmed. They lost their external consciousness. Okay, oh, Krishna has come to our house, what to do, what to not, what not to do. So they were offering banana, whatever there, but with love. So again, any activity, backed up background should be how it should be pleasing to Krishna. Let me do it 100% with as a duty. I don't want anything out of it. I just want that Krishna and devotees are pleased with me. Ashraddhaya utam dattam tapasthattam kritam jayat asat iti uchyate partha nacha tat prete no iha. Anything done as sacrifice, charity or penance without faith in the Supreme, Osana Prada, is impermanent. It is called asat and is useless both in this life and the next. So we have seen, that's what I'm saying. We just out of misdirected compassion, and we may do huge kind of the charity, sacrifice and penance. There is no faith in Supreme. There is a concocted idea that Manav and Madhav are same, or Daridra Narayan or something like that. With this conception you do whatever. You don't have faith in the scripture and Krishna, then all this activity will not give anybody any benefit in this, not in this life and not in next. Did not purify his heart at all, because basically he has not understood anything. And that's why people, Prabhupada, in conditioned state, people are attracted to so many demigods, ghosts, yakshas, and so many things. So ideally, it is better to do all these activities in mode of passion, goodness. Mode of goodness is better than passion all the time, because in goodness you have knowledge and happiness, where you can actually understand the concept of spiritual concept. So goodness, one should always be, goodness, cleanliness, knowledge, what is to be done, what is not to be done. Then slowly we can actually clean our heart by all these activities, by doing it properly. Why the knowledge is given? Any knowledge is given so that just like washing machine, if you buy, then it is, the manual comes. We have to operate it like this, then it will go for a long time. Otherwise, it will crash. Similarly, the activities we know, everybody knows. but how to do it perfectly, optimum level. So that benefit will come also, it will run for a long time. That is given here. So every activity should be uh, analytically, we should study that, how to do it best. You know, so this is like different divisions of faith. So that just like I've given someday I was telling somebody, so faith is such a thing, faith, Shraddha. Once you are you put faith in something for a long time, then it becomes like it takes root in your heart. It's very difficult to actually, you know, disturb that faith because, like we are seeing, we have discussed Ado Shraddha, the Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anand. So just like if bhakti is also like a seed which has become sapling and then become a tree, and Nishta means actually tree which we cannot be shaken at with any storm, and then later it gives fruit, flowers, and so on and so forth. Similarly, any faith, just like if somebody has faith in demigods or ghosts or yaksha, for a long time, if we perform activities with that faith, and once it becomes like a tree, unshakable, it's very difficult to, uproot that faith and give the actually bhakti lata being, and I mean, revive that Krishna consciousness. So it's very, very, very necessary. That's why that's why it is better actually to preach to sense gratifier than to Mayavadis or atheists. Why? Because sense gratificator, those who perform, they have some faith in somebody. I mean, they are doing everything, surrender to some, but their main agenda is to enjoy themselves, right? Activities is there and some faith is there. Some surrender is there. Atheists do not surrender. And Mayavadi also do not surrender. They say, Namo Narayana. Atheists say there is no God. But sense gratification, they have some faith, fickle faith, but that faith is not like a strong tree. Because they, अरे इधर गया ना तो इधर जल्दी होता है, and they immediately change the faith. Are you getting me? So that faith is like anytime that can be changed. Because their main motive is, what is the main motive? How can I get more sense gratification? समझे कि नहीं? ये हाँ नौसता है और तिकट पर, अरे नहीं ये नौसता, वो तो इधर छोड़ देंगे उधर चलेंगे. They are more better. They can be easily convinced about Krishna consciousness because their faith is not up deep rooted. But Mayavadis or atheists, they have strong faith. In fact, you will get corrupted with their association. Okay. So we have to learn all this and then implement that. So this is actually Bhagavad Gita as it is, 17th chapter. But in chapter 18, there is a sort of, we can say, revision. There is a conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. So Arjuna asks few questions and Krishna again, sort of give him the summary of what he has given in 17th chapter. Very important. Arjuna Vacha Sanyasasya Mahabaho Tattvamicchami Veditum Tyagasya cha Rishikesha Pratakeshini Shudana. Arjuna said, O mighty one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, Tyaga, renunciation, and of the renounced order of life, that is sannyas. So Tyaga, I renounce something, and the renounced order of life. What is the difference? O clear of Keshi demon, master of the senses. So, Krishna is going to answer. श्री भगवान वाच काम्यानां कर्मणां न्यासं संन्यासं कवयो विदु सर्व कर्म फल त्यागम प्राहुस्त्यागम विचक्षणा. So what is the tyaga and sannyas? So the giving up of activities that are based on the material desire is what great learned men called renounced order of life. Sannyas means giving up the activities that are based on material desire. That is, oh, I want to build a house. It's a material desire. But to fulfill that desire, you have to act, have to earn money, right? But one gives up that activity based on material desire. So all sorts of material desire. That is sannyasa, renounce order. Sannyasi, have you seen any sannyasi having such desires? I should have a big bungalow, isme ye chahiye, or anything, any material, because he's surrendered to Krishna. His body, life, soul, mind, body. Tridandi means kaya, vacha, and mind. All he surrendered to Krishna. And what is Tyaga? Giving up the results of all activities is what is why it's called renunciation. So tag is what? You act, but give up the results. That is Tyaga. Renounce order is giving up the activities only. That is renounce order of life. And tag means activity you perform, but you give up the results of those activities. So those who are working in, suppose he has a multi-million-dollar company, but he says, I'm working, I can't stop working, but I'll give share of my 50%, like Rupa Goswami says, 50% of my work is I'm giving it for Krishna. That is Tyaga, renouncing. Okay? Tyajam dosha vadite ke karma prahur manishina yajna dana tapa karma na tyajam iti chapara. Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as faulty. Yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. So there are different sages having different opinions. So Muni means one who is never, like he never agrees to another's opinion. He has another opinion. That shows that he is Muni. If somebody agrees with somebody, that is not Muni. That is the definition of Muni. So even here also they have another opinion. So we'll hear Krishna's opinion. Krishna says some say these should be given up fruitive activities based on all kinds of fruitive activities. But others says the acts of sacrifice, charity, penance should never be abandoned. Krishna says Nishayam Shrunume Tatra Tyage Bharata Sattama Tyago hi Purusha Vagra Tirividam Samprapayitita. Now here my judgment about renunciation or tiger among men. Renunciation is declared in scripture to be of three kinds. So even renunciation is also in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Yajna dana tapakarma na tyajam karyam evatat yajno danam tapasyeva pavanani manishina. So these acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up at any time. They should be performed. Must be performed, Krishna says. Because indeed, sacrifice, charity, penance purify even the great souls. So even though somebody is already purified, but still he has to do that. Because they purify them more. Understand? So that is how these activities are so sacred. So Janak Maharaj and all, they were all purified people. But they still acted. They were doing sacrifices. They will do all sorts of because yadyad achariti shrestha tattat eveta rojana sayat pramanam kurute lokastha dhanumat. So they had no desire to do anything. They have no need, but still they were doing it because it is purifying. So Prabhupada writes, there are many purification processes for advancing human life to spiritual life. For example, marriage is a type of sacrifice. Vivaha yajna. Now, sannyasi who is in renounced order life, should he encourage people to for marriage ceremony? So not all will be in the category of directly renouncing the everything material. So most men, this Vivaha Yajna should be encouraged, even with a person in the renounced order of life. Why? Because that will be, it will encourage him, it will advance him for the lower grade to a higher grade. Superficially, one should not tell them, oh, you should not do that. You go directly to sannyasa. Not all the people will be able to do that. But by following these sacrifices, prescribed sacrifices, he will certainly, what will happen? In the lower stage, they should not give up, they should not be given up. So all the sacrifices, charity, it should be done. So they will advance to the higher level, like that. So there is a tradition. So in the Gurukul, all the brahmacharis would come, but after 25, they have a choice whether to continue to renounce to renounce order or go for a grihastha ashram. So there is a Vivaha Yajna. But after 50, they again have to go to renounce order. I mean the Vanaprastha. And then later they join sannyas. So because that Vivaha Yajna means also there is a purification. One should not give that up. Okay? Because that is Pavanani Manishina. That is the main. But without marriage, you cannot live. I mean, with any woman. I mean, that is a Vedic system. एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानि मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतम उत्तमम्. All these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result. Again, what is there? You should not expect any result. And second thing is, you should not be attached to that. Anything, because even Varnashram is also temporary. Varnashram is there. Why? Because the system is there where we should be attached to Krishna, Vishnu. We should not be attached to I am Brahmana. So again we will come back. Or a Brahmana or Kshatriya or I am this Kula and this ashram and so on and so on. This is a medium where according to your nature there is a facility to surrender your activities to Krishna and purify them. Purify your heart. That is my final opinion. So they should be performed as a matter of duty. Perform is as a duty. Don't be attached and don't expect any result. That's what Krishna said. नियतस्य तु संन्यास कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहातस्य परित्याग तामस परिकीर्तते. Prescribed duty should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duty because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be mode of ignorance. So, Prabhupada gives a nice example that, like cooking for Supreme Lord and offering the food to the Lord, accepting food, it is recommended in the scripture. But if a person in renounced order of life says that, oh, I will not cook, but he can cook. He should not cook for himself, but he can cook for Krishna and offer food to Krishna. Right? Or the sannyasi will say that I am not supposed to marry, so I will not help anybody in marriage. Prabhupada writes that sannyasi may perform marriage ceremony to help his disciple in advancement of Krishna consciousness. So if one renounces such activity, it is to be understood that he is acting in the mode of darkness. That means with anything you can help someone to advance in Krishna consciousness. That should not be given up. Understand? Otherwise you are in darkness. Like, for example, the famous example that one newspaper ad showed that one sadhu was there and a bundle of dollars were there. And he was saying, I don't want it. That picture was there and it was being well appreciated by everybody in America. What a renounced sadhu. When Prabhupada saw that, Prabhupada said, take my picture. Show so many dollars and then I will be embracing that. Because I know I am not attached to that money and I don't want to spend them for my sense gratification. I know how to properly utilize this money for bringing people close to Krishna. So if I give that up, that is more darkness. I mean, that is activity in the mode of ignorance. Understand? Like that. So Krishna is giving us very nice understanding that everything is connected with Krishna. But we should know how to utilize it for Krishna's pleasure. And if we don't know, we should ask a proper person. That is Guru. Like that. Dukkham iti eva yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajit. Sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyagam phalam labhet. 18.8. So anyone who gives up prescribed duties as a troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Any activities. Such action never lead to the elevation of renunciation. So, Prabhupada writes, one should not give up earning money out of fear of his performing fruitive activity. Again, somebody say, oh, if I keep on working, I'll be able to do so many activities for gaining money. Then I'll be trapped by the reactions. I'll have to pay back. One should not do that. So, Prabhupada, what he says, that if by working one can manage his money in Krishna consciousness, or if by rising early in the morning one can advance in transcend to Krishna consciousness, one should not desist out of fear. So Krishna says, if you are working like Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj, Satsvarup Goswami Maharaj was the only brahmachari in Boston temple who was working. All others were full-time devotees. He said, Prabhupada, I have to go for work and I have to manage also. Should I give up the job so that I'll full-time do it? Prabhupada said, how you are managing Boston temple? Mostly I am paid from my salary only. That is Krishna consciousness. You are utilizing entire your activity, fruit, whatever your salary is in Krishna consciousness. To continue for some time. Don't give up because Boston temple was not self-sustained at that point. So one should not give that up. That otherwise it will not be proper. Anyway. Or somebody said, oh, kaun uthega, who will rise up in the morning. So that will not give, it's a renunciation in the mode of passion. Because you are too much attached to your body. Right? So we should, and the result of passionate work is always miserable. Karyam iti eva yat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna. Sangam tekva phalam chaiva satyaga satvipam. When one performs his spiritual duty only because it is ought to be done. When it is said by Guru, we have to do that. And renounces all material association. Sangha tyaga. And all attachment to the fruit is not attached to. The renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. So, Prabhupada, that man working in Krishna consciousness in the factory does not associate with himself with work of the factory, nor with the workers in the factory. He simply works for Krishna. And when he gives up the result for Krishna, he is acting transcendentally. So one person is there, he is working 16 hours, but he is thinking how I can utilize that money in Singapore or Switzerland or Germany. He is planning world tour. Another person is working 16 hours and he is utilizing how can I utilize this fund for making temple or for the festival. How can I utilize it for Krishna's pleasure? So that is transcendental, the penance in duty out renunciation in the mode of goodness. What he has renounced? What he has renounced? He has no attachment and he has given up the fruits also. He has given up, renounced the fruits of his hard labor. But that is in goodness. Okay. न द्वेष्ट कुशलम कर्म कुशले नानुसज्जते त्यागी सत्वम समाविष्टो मेधावी छिन्न संशय. The intelligent renouncer situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work, not attached to auspicious, has no doubt about work. So such person knows that we have to work. Without work, we cannot even sustain our body. Every moment we have to work. Nahi kaschit kshanavapi jatu tishtati karma kru. Not a 1 second we can live without work. So we have to work. So why not work for Krishna? He has no doubt about, what is in, are ye hateful hai. I mean, this is low work. So if he offers a puja, oh, ye acha hai. I don't, chappal seva. So he is hateful. No. If it is for Krishna's pleasure, Guru Vaishnava's pleasure, I have to work. Like that. Nahi deha vrada shakyam tyaktum karmani asheshata. Yastu karma phala tyagi sat tyagi avidhiyate. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities. It is not possible at all. But he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. Give up the fruits. Don't be attached to fruits. Then you are renouncing. So he is wearing tie and coat, but he is actually sannyasi. He has no attachment to fruits. He gives the law. अनिष्टम मिष्टम मिश्रम च त्रिविधम कर्मण फलम भवति त्यागिना प्रेत्य न तु संन्यासिनाम क्वचित्. For one who is not renounced. So now one is fully renounced, and second category is one who is not renounced. The threefold fruits of action, that is desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accrue after death. But those who are in the renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy. Because the hook to come back to this world is attachment to the results. What will happen to my wealth? Will come as a paid tree to guard that, or any dog or like that. Kailash ka Suryan, or snake to actually guard that wealth. That is attachment, deep-rooted attachment. So either you do good activities, suppose. So you will come to enjoy that. Bad activities will come to suffer. And Mishram. Now we are doing all Mishram. Taken. Kabhi khupsi, kabhi gam. है ना? Anishtam Mishram, Anishtam Ishtam Mishram. Like that. पंचेतानि महाबाहो कारणानि निबोध में सांख्ये कृतांते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धये सर्व कर्मण. According to Vedanta, there are 5 causes for accomplishment of all action. What are they? Adhishtanam tatha karta, karanam cha pruthakvidam, vividhascha pruthak cheshta, daivam chevatra panchamam. So there are 5 people. First is Adhishtanam, the place of action. That is the body. Second is Tatha Karta, the soul, the performer. Karanam cha, the various senses which are utilized for the work. Vividhascha pruthak cheshta, many different kinds of endeavor required, again. Just by having body and senses will be able, we have to act particular, we have to actually act. But more than this is the 5th factor. What is that? Daivam, super soul. These are the 5 factors of an action. So action cannot be performed without these. The 5 there are there. But the more important is super soul. The sanction is there. Without sanction of super soul, nothing will happen. But the attachment or force will cause super soul to allow sanction for any activity. Like we have seen Asura say, we have to do that. Go to Naraka. Krishna says. Tanaham dushata kruran sansareshu nararam. Super soul. But if super soul is actually giving us hint, I do this good, it will be beneficial for you. One who accepts that, That is very. Shariram vang manobhir yat karma prarabate nara nyayam va viparitam va panchete tasya etava. So that's why it is written, whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, and speech is caused by all these five factors. So even fifth factor is also there. Devam says, "Oh, okay, but I am always a good counsel. But right or wrong, you have to decide. Your independence, desire. Otherwise, you will say, you force me to love you. I am not forcing you. I will give you right counsel. तत्रैव सति कर्तारम आत्मानं केवलम तु यह पश्यति अकृत बुद्धित्वान् न स पश्यति दुर्मति. Therefore, one who thinks himself as a only doer, he says, मैंने बनाया खून पसीने से ये. That's all nonsense. Not considering the five factors is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. They are foolish. यस्य नाहंकृतो भावो बुद्धिर यस्य न लिप्यते अत्वापि स इमान लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्यते. So the body is not given to you by yourself. Again, Krishna has given you. The power to senses also Krishna gave you. And the knowledge also given by super soul only. Everything is there. One who is not motivated by the false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled, though he kills men in the world, does not kill, nor is he bound by his acts. There is no false ego. The false ego means, why it is said, motivated in a false ego, and he will not bound by any action. What is the connection here? So false ego means मेरे को सेंस कर मेरा क्या. So it will bind you with all your actions. So one is not motivated with false ego. He says no. I am Krishna's part and parcel. The Guru is telling me to do this. So even though it is very, painful for false ego to do that. Prithu Maharaj and Indra, there is a fight going on. When he is performing yajna, and Indra comes and steals the horse. And then he says, enough now. I will kill him. He says, chant the mantra, let the Indra also come. So Vishnu comes. I'm sorry, Lord Brahma comes. He says, don't do this. You can't kill Indra. He is the king of them. So do settlement. It's very painful. Can you imagine? There are 100 sacrifices going on, and so many times Indra had done this. He has taken so many disguise of the sannyasis, so many. And who will stop sannyasi? And he came and just carried the horse, so that yajna will not be finished. He said, Brahmaji is saying, immediately when he forgave Indra, Lord Vishnu came. Why Lord Vishnu comes? When Lord Vishnu comes? When he comes. Huh? Then here, what is going on? So when he comes? When he comes, what time he comes? Here devotee kahan aa gaya? When yajna is finished, he comes. Here yajna is not finished also. But the purpose of yajna is finished. What is the purpose of yajna? He followed Guru. When the heart says, the false ego says, don't do this. ये तो तुम्हारा अलग नहीं. Guru saying, अभी तो यज्ञ हुआ ही नहीं, heart sacrifice ही नहीं हुआ. But Vishnu came. So that's the main purpose what we are reading from today, yesterday or today. The main purpose of anything is to please your Guru and Vishnu. Activity external doesn't matter. Even if it is not complete, Krishna fulfills. Because, and otherwise, scrutiny ऐसा होना चाहिए, और उसमें 2-4 लोगों का गला काट दो. मैंने 2-4 वैष्णव का पूरा अपराध कर दो. They still not be happy. कोई भी नहीं हुआ. अरे सब कुछ तो परफेक्ट था, मंत्र क्या 2-4 लोगों का तुमने मन क्या कर निकल रहा इधर से, यानी जो भी है तुम इधर क्या कर रहा है उधर क्या कर रहे. So are you understanding what Krishna is trying to say? The main purpose is to please Vaishnavas and me, Krishna says. Others are important and not important also. So here it is, Prutu Maharaj episode we can see. We used to directly come. He didn't wait. Chalo abhi kato. I mean, it's the Ashwamedha Yagya, na? Ashwamedha Yagya means you have to offer horse. Horse तो उधर ही खड़ा है. Direct आ गए वो. Okay. ज्ञानम ज्ञेयम परिज्ञाता त्रिविधा कर्म चोदन करणम कर्म करते थे त्रिविध कर्म संग्रह. Knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower or the three factors that motivate action. The senses, the work, and the doer are the three constituents of action. So, what is the knowledge? What is the object and the knower that will motivate the action? But senses, work, and doer are three constituents of action. So this is the knowledge we are taking about how ज्ञानम कर्म च कर्ता च त्रिविधै गुण भेदतः प्रोच्यते गुण संख्याने यज्ञावत् शृणु तान्यपि. According to the three different modes of material nature, there are three kinds of knowledge: action and performed action. What are they? So what is the jnanam? In sarva bhuteshu yenekam bhavam avyam ikshate avibhaktam vibhakteshu tad jnanam vidhi satva. That knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities. Super soul is same in everybody's heart, if one sees that. Though they are divided into innumerable forms, there are so many super souls, but they are one same super soul. ऐसा नहीं कि इनका थोड़ा कलयुग सत्ययुग का है कलयुग, अरे वो सेम एक ही पर्सन है. To understand, you should understand to be this knowledge to be you should understand to be mode of goodness. This knowledge in mode of goodness. But prutaktvena tu yajnanam nana bhavan prutakvidam vetti sarveshu bhuteshu tad jnanam vidhi raj. The knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity. You should understand that to be in the mode of passion. So we can also see that even the soul also in everybody's, I mean everywhere, is also same nature. Nature in the sense is a part and parcel of Krishna. So there is no division as such कि ये वो रसा का है वो रसा का है. Then ideally they have a intimate relation with Krishna. Understand? So that also is like we say Brahmana Suni Chaiva Supakecha Pandita Samadarshana. He doesn't see elephant or dog or cat or man or woman. He says the soul within, essentially. But this is goodness, knowledge in goodness. But those who see that there is different kind, अरे ये गधा है, ये कुत्ता है, that is a passionate mode. That is the knowledge in passion. One who sees a different living entities there in different type of body, it is the knowledge in the mode of passion. Because he will segregate. He will say, I am more higher, elevated person, living entity than these lower. That's what the animal killing is going on. Why they do it? They have no soul. I mean, they are not important. Understand? So it's a mode of passion. Where passionate means I need sense gratification. What Voinika. Yattu Krishna Vade Kasmin Karya Saktam Ahetukam Atatvartham Adalpancha Tat Tamasam Udavaram. And that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of activity as the all in all, without knowledge of the truth and which is very meager, is said to be mode of dark. So here it is main thing is actually that knowledge which has nothing to do with the absolute truth is in the mode of ignorance. There are so many things, we may go into deep, like our Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was telling. His classmate, he did PhD and double PhD. And then he was working. firm. And he asked, "What is your job now? What you are working now?" He said, we use soap, right? Soap. So soap makes bubbles sometimes, So I am trying to find out the chemical composition where the bubble will last for a long time. Bubble burst, na? You make bubbles and the bubble there. So how can we make bubble last for a long time? So like, you need such a big PhD, double PhD for this nonsense. So the knowledge is there, Double PhD is that खेल नहीं है उस. What is it is it has to do with your human life. I mean, for your spiritual advancement. बबल का कैसा लाइफ बढ़ाएंगे? That's going on. Okay, which is very meager. I mean, it has nothing to do with. Somebody will laugh. कि अरे तुम क्या कर रहा है? पागलगिरी कर रहा है. साबुन का झाग कैसा रहेगा ना? नियतम संग रहितम अराग द्वेषित कृतम अफल प्रेप्सुना कर्म यत्तत् सात्विकम उच्यते. That action which is regulated, which is performed without attachment. So regulation, that's what human life means, regulation. And without attachment, without love or hatred and without desire for future, is said to be in the mode of good. The action should be just as a duty you do it, without attachment. Yattu kame suna karma sahankarena va punaha kriyate bahulayasa tat rajasam udavritam. But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desire and enacted from a sense of false ego is the action in mode of passion. So most of the time we see, if मैं बोल रहा हूँ, my opinion you have to follow. So there is a my false ego is there, and what to say? I will get promotion. That is saying that big post. So people do so much politics in the office. Why? Because of action in passion. So even in devotional life, it may come. It time actually once in a book distribution marathon, I mean Gita marathon, those days the devotee used to go early in the morning. They go at 2 o'clock. So we'll go 1 o'clock. Like that. And they would do, his jeep. So they would to puncture their jeep. So that it will a time lag. So we'll go ahead and we'll get a nice spot for whole day. And they will repair their car and then they will get late. This may come. But what is the point here? False ego. Because I will get higher number. Again, attachment to the result and done out of. So ultimately they purify in the sense. When it comes to, so that's a proper say. Don't distribute only books. Read. So they have not gone through this 18th chapter that time because they had no time. I mean, whatever we'll give them. I mean, we have to. They are our predecessors. I mean, predecessor के ancestor. I mean, predecessor ही बोलते हैं. मेरा sometimes English का ये हो जाता है. हमारे ancestor नहीं बोलते, हमारे पूर्वज मेरे ये है वो. So what I'm saying is, anyway, don't go in deep into that. I'm just saying anything we do should not be attached to the result and it should not be out of our false ego. So Ragi Karma Phala Pretsu, sorry, where are we? 25. Anubandham Kshayam Himsam Anapeksha Paurusham Mohad Arabhate Karma Yattat Tamasam Uchate. That action performed in illusion, in disregard to scriptural injunction, and without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So nowadays we have seen that most of the time people have no backup of scriptures, whatever they do, and they are doing it like for violence or causing distress to others. Mukta sango anam vadi dhritti utsaham samanvitaha. Siddha siddho nirvikara karta satvika muchyate. One who performs his duty without association with modes of material nature, without false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. All these are the qualities where we have to give up false ego and not be attached to the result. We should have a great enthusiasm and determination just to perform the activity. Okay? रागी कर्म फल प्रेक्षुर लुब्धो हिंसात्मको असुचि हर्ष शोक अन्विता करता राजसा परिकिंदो. But the worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, who is greedy, always envious, impure and moved by joy and sorrow. So what will happen? Passionate person will be very sorry. Arey, main haar gaya. He will break the, sometimes people do na, jo haath mein फेंक देते, haar gaya main. So passion is there. The worker in passion will be moved by the victory or defeat. But worker in the mode of goodness will always see, I have done my part. I have same enthusiasm. So the athletes, they do, athletes, they say one person was asked, so what is your schedule and how much do you practice? How much you practice to get this gold medal? He said, what you are asking? The moment Olympic is over, next day onward, I start with my practice. That's how I have come to this stage. There is no gap. Okay, I have come so 20th now in the Olympic. Start practice. Utsaha, same determination, same enthusiasm. And okay, defeat that, okay, but next time, and then, so he's not affected by anything. Ayukta prakruta sabda shato naiskritiko alasan. Vishadi dirgha sutri cha karta tamasam uchyate. I have actually, I'll admit one thing, one time we were gone to our half year meeting, we used to have a company half year meeting, 3 days, just have some, presentation what you did. And there was in Mahabaleshwar somewhere we were there. So one Delhi guy came in our company. So he came late. His flight was late. And so somehow he couldn't get the accommodation. Something late aaya tha, something has happened, or maybe something like that. And one person was missing. With me, someone was there, my friend. He said, I'll come one day late. Something. So he was accommodated in my room. So he came at 2 o'clock. रात में आया. मैं अच्छा सोया था, आया, ठीक है, सो जाओ. But when I got up 6 o'clock, वो गायब. मैं किधर गया? तो भागने गया वो. Running को गया वो. I was shocked. बोला अरे I slept at 10 or 11. 6 बजे सो रहा हूँ, ये आया 2 बजे, 5 बजे भाग गया. भागने को गया वो. Determination. बोला नहीं, I always maintain my schedule. Whatever time I sleep, but और महाबलेश्वर में कौन भागेगा नहीं बोले. It's like a fresh air. So I was reminded by this that determination should be there in your activity. Should not be affected by the schedules and defeat or yeah. किधर है हम लोग? 29. हाँ? 29. So बुद्धेर भेदम धृतश्चैव गुणस्तत् त्रिविधम शृणु प्रोच्यमानान शेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनंजय. Oh, winner of wealth, now please listen as I tell you in the detail of the different kinds of understanding and determination according to the 3 modes of material nature. So pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya karya bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha ya vetti buddhi sa partha satviki. That understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared. What is binding and what is liberating is in the mode of goodness. So understanding, that is knowledge. Whatever we do, we first think, is it beneficial? Is it not? That is goodness. यया धर्मम अधर्मम च कार्यम कार्यमेव च अयथावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धि सा पार्थ राजसी. That understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion. He says, because just like the gamblers, he said, you have already lost. He said, nahi, इस बार जीतना ही है. So like that. So what is religion, irreligion? They don't understand. What action should be done, not. Because so much of force by the false ego. Adharmam dharmam iti ya manyate tamasavrita sarvarthan viparitams buddhisa partha tamasa. So buddhi understanding which consider irreligion to be religion. Under spell of illusion and darkness and strives away in the wrong direction. So we can give n number of examples in Kali Yuga. There are so many different Shraddha, faiths people are carrying. Whatever you say, a man can never become a god. Anybody can understand. But people say, no, this person is God. Dhritya yaya dharayate manapraniindriya kriya yogena vyabhicharena dhriti sa partha. Determination which is unbreakable, sustained with the steadfastness of yoga practice and which thus controls the activities of mind, life and senses, is the mode of goodness. Firm determination. And determination which one holds fast to fruity results in religion, economic development, and sense is the passion. So it's very determined. Like we say, those who are what is that? Yamimam pushpitam vacham. Those who follow yoga, Vedas, just to get higher birth, elevation to Swarga. They are passionate people. Because their main aim is how to get results. Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam vadamevacha. Na vimunchanti durmeda. That is a part. With determination which cannot go beyond dreaming. So illusion, ignorance means they just, I will do everything, but will not get up from the bed only. That is the determination in ignorance, darkness. Fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion. It is unintelligent determination. So thought will never come into action. That is ignorance. That is unintelligent determination. Sukham tvidani trividam. So even happiness is also in three modes. This is very important. We fall prey to this. We fall prey to this. What? Yattad agre vishamiva pariname amrutopamam. Tat sukham satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadhyam. That which is in the beginning is maybe just like poison, but at the end it is like nectar, which awakens one to self-realization. Is called happiness in the mode of goodness. So just we see, we have to do, first of all, Are Bhakti Chola Mala, Fado. I mean, but it's like a poison. You know? For a false ego, it is like poison. But once the heart is cleansed, we know that actually it is giving us what? That is a true satisfaction, like a nectar. So it's very important. But Vishaya Indriya Sanyogad Yatta Dagre Amrutopamam Pariname Vishamiya Tatsukham Rajasam. That happiness which is derived from the contact of the senses with their objects and which appears like nectar at the first, but poison at the end is said to be happiness in the nature of, in the mode of passion. So young man and woman, so they are so passionate to start a life, right? The beginning, it's very pleasing to the senses, but at the end, it becomes like poison. And the same, then they'll proper rights. Hmm. So Chandramukhi becomes Suryamukhi. And then become Jwalamukhi. बोला यही ठीक है जिसके साथ हमने. Then they will become divorced. There is lamentation, sorrow. So there is no higher purpose of marriage. Responsibility to bring up, you know, the family towards Krishna. There is no such kind of understanding in the Grihastha ashram. Then it will become like that. Yadagre chanubande cha sukham mohanam atmana nidralasya pramadottham tat tamasam dana. Happiness which is blind to self-realization. It has nothing to do with, and which is delusion from the beginning to the end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion. Is said to be in the nature of it. So people used to say LSD, it is spiritual realization. In 1960, that was the common name. Don't open. Again, it will come. It will take time. So it has nothing to do with self-realization. But they said, you can close it. Then, but don't open. न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा देवी देवेषु वा पुनः सत्त्वं प्रकृति जैन्मुक्तं यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणे. So there is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary system which is freed from these three modes born of material nature. So this is very important. Don't think that once we achieve Swarga, that we have become, got rid of three modes. No. Everywhere, even in higher planetary system, there are modes which affect us. Now there are the Brahman, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra. They all are distinguished by the qualities born of their own nature in accordance with the material modes. Shamo damastapa shaucham shanti rarjam evacha jnano vijnanam astikam brahma karma sambhavani. So based on their previous modes they have chosen, they get these kind of qualities. So Brahmanas have 9 qualities: peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. Shauryam tejo dhuti daksha yuddhe chapya palayanam danam ishvara bhavasya shatra karma sabhavam. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are all the natural qualities of Kshatriya. There are 7. These are unique qualities. Brahmanas and Kshatriyas will have unique quality. So there is Ishvara Bhavasya. If you approach Kshatriya that, oh, you give me shelter. So even if he dies, he will protect you. Like that. And Brahmanas means purity. So there is a self-control, peacefulness, honesty. Krushi Goraksha Vanijam Vaishya Karma Subhavajam Paricharyatmakam Karma Shudrasyapi Subhav. Farming, cow protection, and business are natural work for the Vaishya. 3. So 9, 7, 3, and Paricharyatma. For Shudra, there is labor and service to others. But even though they do that, all these 4 people, 4 kinds of Varnas, they perform their activities with their qualities with the aim to please Krishna. What will happen? They will achieve siddhi. Svesve karmani avirata samsiddhim labate nara. Swakarma nirata siddhim yatha vindanti tasya. What they have to do? By following his qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Yatha pravriti bhutanam yena sarva vidam tatam. Swakarmana tam abhyarth. Siddhim vindanti manava. By worship of the Lord, who is source of all being and who is all pervading, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. Do your work. If you are Brahmana, be Brahmana, surrender to Krishna. Kshatriya, perform Kshatriya Dharma for Krishna's pleasure. Vaishya Shudra, same. So that is the only main purpose. But somebody now here, Arjuna, why this is given to Arjuna? Arjuna wants to become Brahmana. He is a Grahastha, he wants to become sannyasi. Krishna says, don't do that. Shreyan swadharmo viguna, paradharma swanushtita. Swabhava niyatam karma, kurvan napnoti kilbisham. So, what is the one reason why Arjuna do not want to fight? He says there will be sin. If I kill them, it is a sin. But Krishna says, Are bhai, it is better to engage in one's occupation. You are Kshatriya. Even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Because duties performed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful relation. So better be Brahmana, better be Kshatriya and perform it. And that will not cause you any sin. But if you become a renounced order, and if you act like Kshatriya, then that will be sinful. You are Kshatriya, that means you will act as a Kshatriya. You are not purified yourself completely. The heart purification should be gradual. Suddenly, nahi. Only by wearing dress, one cannot become renounced order. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham api na त्यजेत सर्वारंभा hi दोषेण dhumena agdir evavrita. Don't worry. In this material world, every endeavor is covered by some fault. Whether you are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Just as fire is covered by smoke, can you have a fire without smoke? Impossible. Similarly, any work will have a fault. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature, even if such work is full of faults. So Prabhupada writes that if a Brahmana is there, he has to perform sacrifices. That means animal killing is necessary. It's a fault. He cannot avoid it. Again, Kshatriya has to fight with enemies. He cannot avoid it. However pious he may be, but Kshatriya means he has to fight. He has to kill enemies. And a merchant, however pious he may be, he has to hide the profit to stay in business. He has to lie. बोले आपके लिए ये बहुत सस्ता है. सस्ता क्या है वो? महंगा है वो. And for a Shudra, even though his master is not a good master, he is a bad master, still he has to carry out the order of the master. So that is his duty. Okay. So this is a very nice example. Fire is pure, but still there is a smoke. But yet smoke does not make the fire impure. Even though there is a smoke in fire, fire is still considered to be the purest of all elements. Similarly, all the occupations are so pure if it is done for Krishna's pleasure that they will wipe out the fault. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spruha neshkarmyam siddhi paramam sannyasena gacchati. One who is self-controlled, unattached, and who is disregard all material enjoyment can obtain by the practice of renunciation the highest stage of freedom from reaction. So, be self-controlled, unattached, and disregard of the material enjoyment. Like that. So, how to act like this? Krishna says, Buddhya Vishuddhaya Yukto Dhrutyatmanam Niyamya. So what he says, being purified by his intelligence and controlling the mind with determination, giving up the objects of sense gratification, being freed from attachment and hatred. One who lives in a secluded place, who eats little, who controls his body, mind, and power of speech, is always in trance and who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and acceptance of material things, free from false proprietorship, and peaceful. Such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization. This is a summary of what entirely Krishna has given. So what is the conclusion? Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sochiti na kanchiti. Samat sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate pana. Krishna says, one who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman. That everything is Brahman in the material world. All souls are there. They are trying to enjoy separately the matter. And he himself has nothing to do with matter. The soul is not touched with the matter. He always becomes joyful, whether he is in the spiritual world or not. His knowledge is, I am not matter. I am eternal. That's joy. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity, and in that state he attains pure devotional service. So, knowledge leads to action. So, what is the action now? He actually doesn't discriminate between anybody. 84 lakh species he sees as same. In the sense, they are undergoing the karma of their previous activities. So that is a gyan, that is the action. And that action which makes him closer to Krishna. Because just like so many brothers are there, but the one brother he is very friendly to all. He becomes very close to father. Father becomes more merciful to him that he knows how to have a family. Similarly, Krishna becomes very pleased with this person because he knows how to behave with his part and parcel. So bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yasyasmi tattvata tato mam tattvato gyatva vishati tadananta. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of God, only by devotional service. When one is in the full consciousness of me, by such devotion he can enter into kingdom. So perform bhakti. Without bhakti, we cannot understand Krishna. So Krishna has come into the material world and everybody knows that. Agree? In Dwapar Yuga, at the end of Dwapar Yuga, Krishna has appeared in Yadu Vamsha. Agree? He has done so many pastimes. But nobody understands Krishna as Krishna. Agree? So although people know it, but they don't know. Actually. Agree? Because Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. Yoga Maya Samava. So that cover, that curtain is there. So only by bhakti that curtain goes. And we can actually see Krishna, know Krishna. Bhaktya mam abhiyana. Not otherwise. Sarva karmani sada kurvano mad vyapashraya mad prasada davapnoti shashvatam padam. So under my protection only my devotee reaches to my abode. So all what you do, chetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matpara. Buddhi yogam upashritya mat chitta satatam bhava. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. We don't do that. We always see how can I now solve the problem. We never take shelter of Krishna. Have you seen Subhadra? When she saw that, Are, not Subhadra, Uttara. Are, what has happened? Who is the son of, I mean, Arjuna, Subhadra hai na? Abhimanyu Subhadra. So, not Abhimanyu, yeah. Parikshit was whose son? Uttara. When Uttara was, she knows that Arey, Brahmastra is coming. What she did? She started running at Krishna. Please save me. So always depend upon me and work always under my protection. Even see Vrindavan Vasis, Vrajavasis, whatever happens, although they are so powerful, but they take shelter of Krishna with a small boy as such. Eh, na? So that is consciousness. If you do that, then mat chitta sarva durgani, mat prasada tarishyasi, atachetpam ahankaram shrusyati yan vinakshasi. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all obstacles of conditional life by my grace. However, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna and all of us that if we act through our false ego, then we will be lost. What we have to do? We have to take shelter of Krishna and then act. Then we will act with his grace. But Krishna says, if you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. And by your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. Even though you will give up, still you will be doing warfare only. Swabhava jena kaunteya nibaddha svena karmana. Kartum nechasi yanmohat karishyasi avashopitat. What is Krishna saying? Under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction. But compelled by the work born of your nature, your own nature, you will act all the same. So Brahmana will be Brahmana only, and Kshatriya will act like Kshatriya only. When Pandavas went in the kingdom of Drupad, as a Brahmana dress, they were Brahmanas in a disguise. But Drupada were watching. But all of them went to weaponaries. They started seeing weapons. The Drupad said they are not Brahmana, they are Kshatriya. So because they will act. वो क्रिकेटर गया तो he will go to see the bat only. अरे वो बैट कैसा है कि नहीं? टेबल टेनिस वाला उधर चला जाएगा. It's a nature. ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशे अर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यंत्ररूढ़ानि वाले. Supreme Lord is situated in everybody's heart. No, Arjuna is directing the wanderings of all living entities. So seated as on a machine made of material nature. So Krishna is there in everybody's heart. And he is a director. Basically, he is giving us all direction so that we can actually go to the right destination. We just have to hear him, his good advice. That's the main thing. Tameva sharanam gacha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashvat. So this actually can be utilized like, driving school is there. You are a driver of this car, but you have to listen to the coach. अरे यहाँ भी ब्रेक दबा, राइट को ऐसा चला, तो अभी बहुत हो गया मैं चलाता हूँ. You will crash. You will crash. You have to constantly listen to him. The super soul is that yanta runani maya ishvara tishtati. Tameva sharanam gacha sarva bhavane bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashvatam. Surrender unto him utterly. Now Krishna is saying, him means in the sense me. By his grace you will attain transcendental peace and supreme eternal power. This is the most confidential knowledge. Like that. And because you are my dear friend, I am speaking you most confidential knowledge, more than this. What is that? Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame vaishyasi satyante prati jani priyus. The final goal is always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my dear friend. And what about the my spiritual result? Pap, अरे सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य माम एकम शरणं व्रज aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami. I will take care of all the sinful reactions and deliver you. What you have to do, what you have to do, just surrender unto me. Abandon all other religions. So we just have to do anukul. What is anukul? Favorable for devotional service, and reject for this unfavorable thing. Just surrender unto Krishna. Rakshishyati iti vishvaso. Goptrutve varanam tata. Krishna will protect. Like that. So Krishna says that nidam te na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana na chashrusho vai vacham na jamam priyo abhyu abhasuyati. This is very confidential knowledge. And it may never be explained to those who are not austere, devoted, or engaged in devotional service, and to one who is envious of me. Krishna is saying. But devotees are more compassionate, so they start preaching. Ya idam paramam guhyam bhakti mai. So he says, for one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. So we should be bodhayantat parasparaha. With devotees, we should discuss all this. Then our attachment to Krishna, our love towards Krishna, attraction towards Krishna increases. With devotees, if we discuss Krishna Katha, all this love. न च तस्मान् मनुष्येषु कश्चिन् मे प्रियकृत्तमः भविता न च ते तस्मात् अन्य प्रियतरो भुवि. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there be even more dear. Like that. I declared it that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worship me by intelligence. So if we study Bhagavat Gita, means actually we are worshipping Krishna by our intelligence. आरती का है इंटेलिजेंस से, तो स्टडी करना चाहिए. Like that. One who listens with faith and without envy, he becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. Krishna says, have you heard this with attentive mind and your ignorance and illusions now displayed, O Arjuna? So Arjuna says, Nashto moho smritir labdva tat prasadad mayachyuta sthitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tam. Now the previous stage before Gita started, 1.46, Arjuna has given the Gandiva, he has sat down on the Rath and he is crying. I don't know what to do. Now he has heard Gita and now he says, Nashta moho, my illusion is gone, now gone. Smritir labdha, I regained my memory by your mercy. Tvat prasadad mayachyuta. Sthitosmi gata sandeha. I am now firm and free from doubt. Karishye vachanam tava. I am prepared to act according to your instructions. So this is how the knowledge affects our action. Doubts are cleared. You see the clear picture and you understand what is to be done. So Sanjay says, so Prabhupada writes that whoever reads Gita and doesn't come to this conclusion, that means he has not read Gita. He has not understood anything. Gita should be understood like Arjuna. How Arjuna should come to the conclusion, that should be the conclusion. Sanjay says that I have heard a conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end. And this is the mercy of my Gurudev Vyasa. I have heard that most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. Rajan Samsrutya Samsrutya Samvadam Idam Adbhutam Keshavarjuna yo punyam rishyami cha muhur. I repeatedly recall these wondrous and holy dialogues between Krishna and Arjuna. O King Dhritarashtra, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. इस महात्मा ने कौन है उनका? धृतराष्ट्र बोल रहा कि आई एम थ्रिल्ड विद दिस नॉलेज. तथ्य संश्रुत्य संश्रुत्यम रूपम अति अद्भुतम हरे विस्मयो में महाराजन विश्यामि च पुनः पुनः. O King Dhritarashtra, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again. And some Acharya says, before speaking 78th verse, actually, Sanjay asked for Gandhari to come. And in front of Gandhari, he says, Yatra yoge Sharakrishna, Yatra partho dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Because Dhritarashtra is so envious that he wants to hear his son's victory. If Sanjay speaks like that, he may actually have done some punishment to Sanjay also. But in front of Gandhari, he will never do that. That's why he called and he predicted. This is the prediction. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Tatra Yatra Partho Dhanudara. Whenever there is a Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhuti. There will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power and morality. That is my opinion. So he also has actually heard Gita. Because Krishna, what is saying? That by hearing this, what will happen? One who listens with faith and without envy, all his sinful reactions will go and he attains auspicious planet. And he will worship me with intelligence. So like that, the Sanjay also has got the revelation with this knowledge. And yes, I know what to do now. But because he is servant of Dhritarashtra, so he continued serving him. Like Hare Krishna. So here we have finished Gita, trying to understand Gita. So Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and in between Bhakti Yoga. So Krishna concludes that when we are having a human form of life, having a guru who is in the right lineage of Guru Shishya Parampara, teaching Bhagavad Gita. So we should always remember our all activities should be for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna and Vaishnava. Then only we can actually will be freed from all the anxieties of material world and we can remember Krishna without having any attachment to the fruits of our work. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna.